It's Lori here. I'm here today to do my July TBR game. I will admit my June TBR game did not go according to plan, but I am going to revamp it a little bit this month and hopefully actually have some rewards and punishments at the end. We are in the summer months, baby, and I tend to read a ridiculous amount in the summer. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Time Warp YA Book Club books. The first book is a physical read that I chose, which is With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I have heard incredible things about Elizabeth Acevedo's book. This is a book about a girl named Amani. She is a teen mom, but she also has a strong love of cooking, and I think she wants to work in cooking as she graduates from high school. Um but I think that's all I know. But I've heard really good things about it, so this will be my physical read, and I'm hopeful that it will kind of work for a prompt as well. But this is the one that we're choosing. And then the other series we're going to start is The Falconer by Elizabeth May. Here's a photo. What this series is about, but I know it has to do with falcons, and it's an older YA series that I've been trying to tackle some more of those recently. So this is a trilogy, I think it is, and I'm excited to start it. I have been eyeing it on my Kindle for the last couple of months, and no one voted in my poll, so I get to choose the book when no one votes. But I'm really excited to read this one and share my thoughts with you at the end of the month. Came back from ALA 2021, which is mostly virtual, so I picked about 4 arcs out of this jar, and I'm gonna sort of talk through them, and hopefully they will get read. Most of these will also work for my TBR game as well, but let's get into it. The first one is Defy the Night by Bridget Kimber. Book, and it is, I think it's set in the same world as her Vow So Bold and Deadly series. I know nothing about this book, but I got an e-arc of it and I'm gonna read it, and I'm super excited about it. It is a high fantasy novel. The first one was like a Beauty and the Beast retelling for most of it. I really liked it. I think that was probably one of my favorite series that I finished so far this year, but I'm really excited for this one and hope to get to it soon. Blog tours this month. So the first one is The Dragon Bird in the Fern. Here is a photo. Fantasy read, and basically you follow this young girl. She is the second daughter, but when the person who would have been queen is murdered, she is basically put into a political alliance, and she has to sort of uncover the mysteries of that. It sounds really cool. The cover is super pretty as well, and I hope to get to this in early July because I'm on a blog tour for it, but I'm really excited for this one. Another e-arc that I got recently was The Girls Are Never Gone, and this is like a podcast themed mystery thriller. Here's a photo. Who works at a haunted house, and she can kind of talk to ghosts, and it sort of kind of uncovers from there when people go missing. She is sort of encountered by their ghosts. I love reading eerie and creepy things in the summer because I devour them and don't want to put them down. This is also read by Sarah Glenn Marsh, who wrote Reign of something. I can't remember the name of it, but I really like that book. But this book is eerie and creepy. It's set in like a haunted house. It's to do with ghosts. It sounds perfect for summer. So I'm going to devour this read, and I can't wait to give you guys my thoughts. That I picked was The Dark and Shallow Lies. Here is a photo. And creepy with like a witchy twist, and I'm gonna read you guys like the summary. But it says a teen girl disappears from her small town deep in the bayou where magic festers beneath the surface of the swamp. Like boy, in this chilling debut supernatural thriller for fans of Nation Depression, Karen McManus and Roy Powers. It's set in Louisiana. Her best friend goes missing, and she kind of has to uncover the mystery. That sounds great. I think I might read, maybe I might do like a thriller reading vlog this month and kind of tackle those together. And then the last book that I'm going to chat about in this little arc section is Luminous by Marie Rutherford. She also wrote another book previously, but this I think is a standalone, but here's a photo, and I'll give you guys a summary when I look it up. This might actually be a series, but the blurb says, from the author of Crown of Coral and Pearl comes an immersive new fantasy about a witch who must learn to harness her power or risk losing her loved ones forever. That sounds intriguing. Again, I really am intrigued by witch novels, and I'm going to try to read more of them. So this one sounds right up my alley, and it does it is an e-arc as well. So hopefully I will get around to reading it in July. Roll for the prompts that I'm going to pull from my TBR jar this month. I wound up choosing 8. And then I rolled 3 dice so far, so I'm just going to go over those because a lot of them were repeats. The first 2 prompts were pick an ALA 2021 arc, so I wound up choosing Defy the Night for that one, and The Girls Are Never Gone. So those are the 2 I chose just because they were the ones I was most interested in, so those are going to fit for my TBR game. And then the next prompt I said was a 2021 auto by author. For me, I chose Sunkissed by Casey West. I have not run her book yet, and this was one that I've been really dying to read, so hopefully I will get around to it this summer. And then the next prompt that I have to choose a book for is, a NetGalley arc. So I'm going to I'm going to choose another one from here, because I have a couple other ones, but Poison Heart. So I'm gonna also put Poison Heart down, but I also do have like a lot of them, but I think Poison Heart will be another one that I'm going to add for a NetGalley arc. Kaylin Barron book, and I'm super excited about it. She wrote Cinderella Is Not Dead, and this one takes place at like a mystical mansion, I think. Darkness Blooms, and best-selling new contemporary fantasy book about a girl with a unique and deadly power. She can grow plants with seeds. She is sent to an estate in rural New York. Bree and her parents decide to leave Brooklyn behind for the summer, but strangers arrive on their doorstep asking for teenagers and extras. Bree learns she has a surprise talent for creating them, but then a family curse comes to town or becomes revealed. That sounds awesome. I'm so excited that I picked that one. So that's another one for my game. I have a lot of e-arcs this month, which is actually okay. And then the next prompt is a list book. So I'm going to go choose what that list book is, and I'll check back in with you guys when I make that choice. List books to choose because my spring TBR video my reading plan did not go as well as I wanted it to, but I decided to choose Some Girls Do by Jennifer Dugan. This is a new one that I just picked up, and this one's a bisexual story, and I really liked Verona Comics, and I just like this cover. It's so pretty, so this one is definitely going to add to my TBR this month, and I hope that I get around to it. The next prompt book I am going to read is an author's backlist book. Let me go kind of decide what I want to do, and I'll check in with you guys when I make that decision. But I am doing a historical fiction readathon for the first sort of week of July, so I did wind up picking Secrets of a Summer Night by Lisa Kleypas to fit this prompt, but if for some reason I don't get around to reading this in the next week, the other backup book is The Survivalist by Courtney Schimmel, and this is a little bit more of like a harder hitting contemporary. It's about a girl named Sloane, and her sister Tally dies by suicide, but she finds a list that sort of is going to from her sister that leaves clues that might help her uncover why her sister decided to make that choice. So this one came out quite a bit ago. So these are the 2 I'm gonna pull for this prompt. It's entirely possible I'll read this one, but contemporaries I tend to read pretty quickly, and this is a little bit more an emotional contemporary, which I haven't read for quite a bit. So these are the 2 that I chose for that prompt. Next prompt that I have, I'm trying to go to the bottom of my jar, is a auto by 2021 author, the book that just came out from an auto by author. To go look on my shelves and find one. I'll be back. Chose was actually Love and Olives by Jenna Evan Walsh. This came out in early 2021. This is a part of her travel series. They go to Mykonos, Greece, and it has to do something with a connection to Atlantis. I'm really excited. I have really enjoyed her other 2 books. I really like the Ireland one, so I'm really excited to dive into this one. This one is pretty long. It's like almost 400 pages. It's over 400. So, but I'm excited to get around to this, and this is also another one of my bricks on my summer TBR, so I'm really excited with that one that I got picked as well. And then the last book from my jar of tricks or prompts is another NetGalley arc. All right, let me go see if I can find another NetGalley arc to pass next book that I chose was Keeper of the Night, which is another NetGalley arc. Here is a photo. October, and the summary is: a girl of two worlds, accepted by none, half reaper, half Shingai soul collector, seeks her destiny in this haunting, compulsive, readable, dark vanity sent in 1890s China. That sounds really, really cool. I also picked up a couple of physical reads that I just kind of had on my summer TBR collection because I tend to read a lot of contemporaries in the summer, and most of the arcs I did pick up are fantasy. So, Tokyo Ever After by Amiko Jean. This is about a girl who unexpectedly realized she's the princess of China. Japan, and she has to go over there to like meet him, and it's kind of like Princess Diaries, but with like a Japanese princess. I think that's really, really cool, and I got this from Fierce Reads, I think, or no, Flatiron Books over the summer, or actually in the fall. So really excited to get around to this one. Another one that I picked up at a con last year was Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hang Wen. And this is about a girl named, I don't know if it tells me her name, but it's about a girl, and she like is very much wants to like, she goes to this away from her parents to go to like this academic prep school, but it's really just like to find a husband. I think it's something like that. It's very like Gossip Girly, but I know that Alexa Love Books really liked it, so hopefully I like this one as well. I also picked up this one recently, The Kindred Spirit Supper Club by Amy A. Reichart, which is a Japanese enforced home to Wisconsin. A journalist, Sabrina Monroe, can't tolerate reunions with friends, kiss-me's from old boyfriends, but not the literal ghosts that greet her in a heartwarming tale of power, love, connection from acclaimed author of Amy A. Reichart. And this is just one of a cozy romance, and it has spirits and ghosts involved, which I'm really excited for. We are heading into Olympic season, and I've had this book on my list for so long, and it's called Break the Fall by Jennifer Apikia. And I think this is like a girl, like she gets hurt the summer before the Olympics, which I'm really excited for, and never got around to reading this because I put it off once the Olympics was postponed because I don't think like my emotions could take it. But we are on Olympic season, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. And then the last physical read on my TBR is going to be Rebel Rose by Emma Thurlett, and this is about Belle, and it's set in 1789 in France. I've heard sort of mixed things about this book, but it was a list book, and hopefully I get through it and I enjoy it. And now I'm going to kind of go through my audiobooks that I hope to read this month, so I'll come back when I pick those out. A lot of time off over the summer, so I have a really long audio list queue. Some of them are holdovers from this month that I just never got around to, but some of them are new because I am doing a historical fiction readathon. So I have 2 audiobooks that I hope to finish by Sunday. The first one is The Footman and I by Valerie Bowman. Here's a photo from Peace Love Books, and it just sounds really, really fun. It's about this guy who is he has like a title, but anyone who tries to date him only wants him for his money, so he decides to go undercover as like a footman to see who really likes him just for him. I just think that was a fun concept, and she said she really liked it and found it super funny, so I added that to my listening queue. I got her from Hoopla. And then the next book is The Rogue of Fifth Avenue by Joanna Shoup. Here's a photo. Fills a couple of prompts on my TBR board. It's a historical not set in Europe. There is some class differences between the leads, so this actually fulfills quite a few prompts on my bingo board, so that is why it is on this list. But it's also, I've never read a historical set not in Europe before, so I'm really excited for that one as well. Another nonfiction read, but I do have Greek Gods, Percy Jackson's Greek Gods or Greek Heroes. I can't remember which one I actually downloaded, but it's like the compendium of all of the hero stories told in Percy Jackson's fun voice, so I'm really excited for that one. That one will probably be a really, really quick lesson, but it's also super funny, and I've been craving to like reread some Percy Jackson, so it may happen eventually, but I'm going to tide myself over with this book. But here's a photo from last month, but it is When Justin Sleeps by Stacey Abrams, which I really am excited to dive into, and also sort of an addendum to this one. The President's Daughter by Bill Clinton and James Patterson is another one that I would love to get to. I have it on hold for my library, but I think my loan's going to expire soon, so I might have to wait a little bit, but that is another one that I would love to read. But definitely When Justin Sleeps will probably be my next listen when the historical fiction readathon is over. Some more political books. So I also picked up 18 Acres by Nicole. Some more political books. So I also picked up 18 Acres by Nicole Wallace, which I think is like a mystery thriller set at the White House. I didn't really read the summary because I want to sort of go in blind, but she has a show on NBC and I just like her as an anchor, so I wanted to sort of read her nonfiction because she worked in the White House. I think it was Bush's White House a while ago as like a press secretary, so I'm excited to see it. And I got it for like one of the Audible sales, but I got it relatively recently, so I'm excited to dive into this one. I'll definitely give you guys my thoughts. Was also The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning. I actually have read this book before, but it's been a bit, and the sequel's coming out in July, so would like to be prepared to listen to it in August, or maybe even July if I read it pretty quickly, but I definitely do need to do a reread, and I had the audiobook, so that's why it's on this list. Relatively quickly because they are memoirs, but Fierce by Ali Raisman in honor of the Olympics. I'm trying to tackle all of my gymnastic memoirs. I still have a couple, but I did get the audiobook for Ali, so I've decided to read that one, but here's a photo. I want to pick up Pete Buttigieg's book called Trust. I know this is like his second book, but it came out relatively recently, and it talks about his presidential campaign, which I was a big fan of, and now he is working in the Biden White House, so I'm just interested in getting his point of view, and I haven't read a memoir in a couple of months. But yeah, that is my ambitious July TBR. Hopefully I will tackle a lot of books, since I don't think I mentioned this in like a video, but I did take the summer off of planning for the next school year, and I'm just gonna let myself relax, enjoy, read, watch the Olympics, and just decompress. So hope you guys like this video, and I'll talk to you guys for my next one. Bye friends.